In the introduction to The Subtle Art of Not Giving a the author sets the stage for the book's core message by challenging the conventional wisdom of traditional self-help and positive thinking. He argues that constantly striving for happiness and success can often lead to frustration and dissatisfaction. The author presents the idea that our culture promotes a mentality of always wanting more, creating a cycle of unfulfilled desires. He suggests that we should embrace a different mindset, one that involves learning to accept and confront the limitations and struggles of life. By acknowledging and embracing the inevitability of pain and problems, we can find meaning in personal growth. The introduction serves as a wake-up call, urging readers to let go of the notion that they are entitled to constant happiness and success. It sets the tone for the counterintuitive approach the book will take, challenging readers to question their beliefs and reassess their values. Overall, the introduction aims to prepare readers for a different perspective on life, one that encourages them to focus on what truly matters and to navigate the challenges of life with a more resilient and grounded mindset. Chapter 1, Don't Try. Chapter 1 of The Subtle Art of Not Giving introduces the concept of not trying so hard and challenges the belief that relentless effort is the key to success and happiness. The author argues that society often promotes the idea that success and fulfillment come from constantly striving and always wanting more. Instead, the chapter suggests we should be more selective in choosing what we care about. By focusing on a few essential things and letting go of the rest, we can invest our time and energy more meaningfully. The author emphasizes that we have limited resources, including time, attention, and emotional capacity, and it's crucial to allocate them wisely. The chapter encourages readers to embrace failure and accept that it is essential to the journey toward success. Rather than avoiding defeat, the author suggests that we learn from it and use it as an opportunity for growth. By letting go of the fear of failure and understanding that it is inevitable, we can approach challenges with a more resilient and adaptive mindset. The key takeaway from this chapter is that by being more discerning in what we give our CKs about and embracing failure as a stepping stone, we can find more fulfillment and create a life aligned with our values and priorities. It urges readers to be mindful of where they invest their energy and to let go of the pressure to constantly strive for more, ultimately leading to a more authentic and contented existence. Chapter 2, Happiness is a Problem. Chapter 2 of The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck challenges the common belief that happiness should be the ultimate goal in life. The author argues that our society's obsession with happiness often leads to disappointment and frustration because it sets unrealistic expectations. The chapter emphasizes that suffering and pain are inevitable parts of life, and trying to avoid or deny them only leads to more suffering. Instead, the author suggests embracing the reality of suffering and finding meaning in it. By acknowledging and accepting the inherent struggles of life, we can develop resilience and a greater sense of fulfillment. The concept of the feedback loop from hell is introduced, which refers to the negative cycle created by constantly chasing after happiness and avoiding discomfort. The more we try to escape pain and seek only pleasure, the more elusive happiness becomes. The chapter highlights the importance of choosing our values and determining what truly matters to us. It suggests that happiness arises from living a life aligned with our values, even if it involves enduring pain and discomfort along the way. By embracing our struggles and finding purpose in them, we can lead more authentic and meaningful lives. Ultimately, the chapter encourages readers to shift their perspective on happiness, recognizing that it is not a constant state to be achieved but rather a byproduct of living a life that is true to ourselves. By accepting the inevitability of suffering and focusing on what truly matters, we can find a deeper and more lasting sense of contentment. Chapter 3, You Are Not Special. Chapter 3 of The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck challenges the notion of entitlement and the belief that we are all unique and special. The author argues that this mindset can be detrimental to our personal growth and happiness. The chapter emphasizes the importance of embracing our flaws and vulnerabilities rather than constantly striving for validation and recognition. It suggests that by accepting our imperfections and recognizing that we are not inherently special, we can free ourselves from the pressure to constantly prove ourselves to others. The author emphasizes that everyone faces struggles and setbacks in life, and it is through these challenges that we have the opportunity to grow and become better versions of ourselves. By letting go of the need to be exceptional and focusing on personal development, we can find greater fulfillment. The chapter also explores the idea that our ego often gets in the way of our happiness. When we are overly focused on proving our uniqueness or superiority, we become more susceptible to comparison, envy, and insecurity. By letting go of the ego-driven need for constant affirmation, we can cultivate a healthier and more balanced sense of self. Ultimately, the chapter encourages readers to embrace their ordinary nature and find contentment in being part of the broader human experience. By letting go of the pressure to be special, we can focus on personal growth and develop a more authentic and grounded sense of self-worth. Chapter 4: The Value of Suffering. Chapter 4 of The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck delves into the concept of suffering and its significance in our lives. The author argues that suffering is an essential part of the human experience and can contribute to personal growth and meaningful existence. The chapter challenges the notion that we should constantly seek pleasure and avoid pain. It suggests that by accepting and embracing the inevitable suffering that life brings, we can develop resilience, strength, and wisdom. The author emphasizes that the ability to endure and learn from suffering is crucial for our overall well-being. Through the concept of the struggle, the chapter highlights that valuable experiences and achievements often require effort and sacrifice. It encourages readers to pursue endeavors that align with their values and are worth the pain and hardships they may encounter along the way. The chapter also explores the distinction between healthy and unhealthy suffering. Healthy suffering involves enduring challenges and hardships that lead to personal growth and fulfillment, while unhealthy suffering arises from dysfunctional patterns and unresolved issues. The author encourages readers to discern between the two and make choices that contribute to their well-being. Ultimately, the chapter aims to shift our perspective on suffering, recognizing it as a catalyst for growth and meaning. By accepting and embracing the value of suffering, we can cultivate a more resilient mindset, find purpose in our struggles, and lead more fulfilling lives. Chapter 5: You Are Always Choosing. Chapter 5 of The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck explores the concept of personal responsibility and the power of choice in shaping our lives. The chapter emphasizes that we have agency in determining how we respond to the circumstances and challenges we face. The author highlights that we are constantly making choices, even if we are not always aware of them. These choices encompass our actions, attitudes, and the values we prioritize. By recognizing that we have the power to choose how we interpret and respond to events, we can take ownership of our lives and create the outcomes we desire. The chapter introduces the idea of the responsibility/fault fallacy, which suggests that while we may not be responsible for the circumstances that befall us, we are responsible for how we respond to them. The author encourages readers to shift their mindset from blaming external factors to taking responsibility for their actions and choices. Moreover, the chapter explores the concept of values-based living and emphasizes the importance of aligning our choices with our core values. By consciously choosing to invest our time, energy, and attention in what truly matters to us, we can lead more authentic and purposeful lives. The key message of this chapter is that our lives are shaped by the choices we make, and taking responsibility for those choices empowers us to create positive change. By recognizing our agency and aligning our choices with our values, we can navigate challenges more effectively and lead a more fulfilling life. Chapter 6: You're Wrong About Everything, But So Am I. Chapter 6 of The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck explores the concept of uncertainty and the limitations of our knowledge and beliefs. The author challenges the idea that we have all the answers and encourages readers to embrace a more humble and open-minded perspective. The chapter emphasizes that no one has a monopoly on truth, and our beliefs and opinions are subjective. The author suggests that being aware of our fallibility and acknowledging that we could be wrong about many things can lead to personal growth and more constructive interactions with others. The concept of mental models is introduced, referring to the frameworks and beliefs through which we interpret the world. The author highlights that these mental models are often flawed and limited, and it is important to continually question and challenge them. The chapter also explores the role of feedback in our lives. By seeking feedback from others and being open to different perspectives, we can expand our understanding and refine our mental models. The author encourages readers to actively engage in learning from their mistakes and being receptive to constructive criticism. Ultimately, the chapter encourages a mindset of intellectual humility and curiosity. By recognizing that we are often wrong about things, we can foster personal growth, improve our relationships, and navigate the complexities of life with greater wisdom and understanding. Chapter 7: Failure is the Way Forward. Chapter 7 of The Subtle Art of Not Giving a explores the concept of failure and its role in achieving success and personal growth. The author challenges the negative perception of failure and encourages readers to embrace it as a necessary and valuable part of the journey towards their goals. The chapter emphasizes that failure is not something to be feared or avoided but rather an inevitable aspect of life. The author argues that failure provides valuable lessons and opportunities for growth, pushing us to reassess our strategies, learn from our mistakes, and develop resilience. The concept of the failure paradox is introduced, highlighting that the fear of failure often holds us back from taking risks and pursuing our goals. However, by avoiding failure, we also miss out on the potential rewards and personal growth that can come from pushing beyond our comfort zones. The chapter also explores the idea of failure porn, which refers to the glorification of failure without genuine effort or progress. The author cautions against adopting a mindset that simply celebrates failure for its own sake, emphasizing the importance of learning and adapting from failure rather than stagnating in it. Ultimately, the chapter encourages readers to reframe their perception of failure and embrace it as a natural part of the path toward success. By learning from failures, persevering through setbacks, and maintaining a growth mindset, individuals can use failure as a stepping stone towards their goals and personal development. Chapter 8: The Importance of Saying No. Chapter 8 of The Subtle Art of Not Giving explores the significance of setting boundaries and the power of saying no. The author emphasizes that learning to say no is essential for maintaining our well-being, preserving our time and energy, and fostering healthy relationships. The chapter highlights that saying yes to everything and trying to please everyone often leads to overcommitment, exhaustion, and a sense of being overwhelmed. By being selective in what we choose to engage with and prioritizing our own needs and values, we can create a more balanced and fulfilling life. The concept of value-based no is introduced, suggesting that saying no to certain opportunities or requests allows us to create space for what truly matters to us. It enables us to allocate our time and energy towards activities and relationships that align with our values and contribute to our overall well-being. The chapter also addresses the fear of disappointing others or being perceived as selfish when saying no. The author emphasizes that setting boundaries and practicing self-care is not selfish but necessary for maintaining our mental and emotional health. It is essential to recognize that we have limited resources and that saying no is a way to protect and honor those resources. Ultimately, the chapter encourages readers to be mindful of their commitments, to learn to say no when necessary, and to prioritize their own well-being. By setting healthy boundaries and making intentional choices, individuals can lead more balanced and purposeful lives. Chapter 9: And Then You Die. Chapter 9 of The Subtle Art of Not Giving confronts the reality of mortality and the finite nature of life. The author encourages readers to reflect on their mortality as a means of gaining perspective and embracing the urgency to make the most of their time. The chapter emphasizes that acknowledging the inevitability of death can serve as a powerful motivator to live more intentionally and purposefully. By recognizing that our time on earth is limited, we are prompted to prioritize what truly matters to us and to let go of trivial concerns. The concept of memento mori is introduced, which refers to the practice of contemplating one's own mortality as a reminder of the fleeting nature of life. The author suggests that reflecting on death can help us appreciate the present moment, deepen our connections with others, and make choices that align with our values. The chapter also addresses the fear of death and the existential anxiety that it can induce. The author suggests that by embracing the reality of death, individuals can confront their fears and gain a sense of liberation, enabling them to live with greater authenticity and courage. Ultimately, the chapter encourages readers to embrace their mortality as a driving force for living a more meaningful and fulfilling life. By recognizing that life is finite and time is precious, individuals can let go of trivial concerns, focus on what truly matters, and create a legacy that reflects their values and passions. Chapter 10, And Then You Live Forever Anyway. Chapter 10 of The Subtle Art of Not Giving a explores the concept of legacy and the impact we can leave behind even after death. The chapter challenges the notion that immortality is achieved through external accomplishments or achievements and suggests that our true legacy lies in the impact we have on others and the values we instill in future generations. The chapter emphasizes that true immortality is not about living forever in a physical sense but rather about the lasting influence we leave behind. The author encourages readers to consider the values they want to embody and the positive impact they can have on the lives of others. The concept of legacy values is introduced, which refers to the principles and virtues we choose to live by and pass on to others. The author suggests that by cultivating and embodying these values, we can create a meaningful and lasting legacy that transcends our physical existence. The chapter also addresses the idea that we are interconnected and part of a larger human narrative. The author emphasizes the importance of contributing to the betterment of society and making a positive difference in the lives of others. Ultimately, the chapter encourages readers to reflect on their own mortality and consider the legacy they want to leave behind. By living in alignment with their values, fostering meaningful connections, and making a positive impact, individuals can create a lasting legacy that extends beyond their lifetime and influences future generations. Conclusion. The conclusion of The Subtle Art of Not Giving a serves as a final reflection on the key themes and messages conveyed throughout the book. It reinforces the idea that happiness and fulfillment come from embracing personal responsibility, accepting the inevitability of suffering, and prioritizing what truly matters in life. The author emphasizes that the pursuit of happiness should not be the sole focus, as it often leads to dissatisfaction and a constant sense of lack. Instead, the conclusion encourages readers to shift their mindset towards choosing values and pursuing a life of purpose and meaning. The importance of self-awareness and introspection is highlighted in the conclusion, as individuals are urged to question their beliefs, challenge their assumptions, and continually grow and evolve. The author reminds readers that personal growth is an ongoing journey and that there will always be setbacks and struggles along the way. The conclusion also emphasizes the significance of relationships and the impact they have on our lives. It encourages nurturing meaningful connections, fostering empathy, and supporting one another in our individual quests for fulfillment. Overall, the conclusion reiterates the central message of the book: by letting go of the need for constant validation, focusing on what truly matters, and embracing our imperfections and limitations, we can find a deeper sense of contentment and live a more authentic and fulfilling life. It encourages readers to approach life with a sense of humor, resilience, and a willingness to confront the uncomfortable truths that ultimately lead to personal growth and a greater sense of well-being.